I'm down at the local beach and I came down here to finish off a weekend. So I've just taken part in a course run by a guy called Dave, called Forest to Fork. And the idea, the concept of this course was to take people out, do a stalking experience, shoot their own deer if they wanted to, if they were willing to, and then process the deer, the butchery and everything else, and then obviously eat it at the end, right? So my friend tagged me into this weekend and asked me if I wanted to go along and do it, and my impulse, the bushcrafter in me, the farmer in me, the outdoors person in me, all went yeah, and then I went oh. Despite having grown up on a farm, despite having been around like people, like I live in the countryside, people shooting for sport, and having been around that all my life, and being a meat eater, I've never shot or wanted to shoot anything. In fact, the emotional response in me was like, God, no, I can't do that. So I really wanted the skill, but I was seriously considering saying, look, I'll come along, but I don't want to shoot the deer. I'll do the butchery bit, I'll do the processing bit. And I thought about it, and what occurred to me was that every day I eat meat, I throw a lot of meat out, I waste a lot of meat, as do a lot of us, and I rarely, if ever, give it a thought in terms of the animal and what that animal went through. Like, did it have a happy life? I don't know where it came from. Like, did it go through a lot of transportation? Like, did it suffer in the abattoir? Like, I don't think about any of those things. I just eat it. If I don't finish it, I chuck it out, And it didn't take me long to figure out how hypocritical that was, and how out of touch that was. So despite having grown up on a farm, despite living in a rural community, I have been just as guilty. I am just as guilty as anybody who has never been around livestock. I am of losing touch with the where does your food come from? Like, what's the reality of it? Like, what is, you get the idea. So I feel quite strongly, and this thought happened in a moment for me. I didn't have to sit and dwell on it once I realised that I'm quite happy to eat meat, but I had this trepidation about being the person that causes the death. So anyway, after I realised that there was no decision for me, I knew I felt like this was something I had to do. I felt like I had to, I don't know, for every animal that I've ever eaten, for every animal I've disregarded, for any animal I've ever hit on the road, and whatever, like, it's not that big an ask for me to have to face up to taking the life of an animal. Now, I wouldn't do it for sport, not interested in doing it for sport. I think doing it for sport's a bit weird. Not judging you if that's what you do, but I do think it's a bit strange. I can't really see where you would get the joy in shooting an animal, and not you. Do you know, there was no joy in shooting the animal. Like, there is no joy for me in that. That is not in any way why I did it. I wouldn't do it for that. I did it because you were doing the whole process, and on my campfire here just now, all the smoke that's blowing in my face, on this campfire here just now is the end result of that weekend, and that's the point. So I brought the animal home, We went through the process, we shooted it, we shot it, we gutted it, we processed it, butchered it, packaged it, and I've given some to my friends, I've given some to my mum, I've got some in my pot, and I feel like I felt like it was something that I really, really had to do. And yeah, I'm glad I did it. We're set up just now to practice using the gun that we're going to be using later on, and we've got a target set up to make sure obviously that we can hit a target successfully. So I'll give you the idea where it is. That's, if you can even see from there, right at the tip of my finger there.
Good, better. Less of a flinch. I mean, that's an extremely good, you know, for having never shot the rifle before, off sticks at 100 yards, you know, that's an extremely good shots. Okay, so you need to flick off your safety catch.
Stopping to check with the binoculars and with the thermal. So the binoculars are actually really good. So far we've not seen a single thing. We've been out for quite a few hours now, and we found some deer over here and over here, and both myself and Viv have shot something, so now we need to go over and check what's happened. We've not came out gratuitously to hunt. Far from it. There was a lot of trepidation and a lot of thinking about it, whether or not like this was something that we wanted to experience, and it wasn't so much something that we wanted to experience, it's something that both of us felt very strongly that we should experience. There's no joy in it. Yeah, there's no joy. There's a learning experience that I think is very important. I think our disconnect from our food is where it comes from, how it gets onto our plate, how it gets into our fridge so that we can throw it in the bin. That stuff, that disconnect, and I grew up in farming, I live in a rural community, that stuff's really important, and reconnecting with that either by doing something like what myself and Viv have done, or in a way that you feel is appropriate for yourself. I don't know, I think it's pretty important. Anyway, we're going to go and deal with the stuff that we need to do in the field, and this is part of the process that I really need to learn about, because I actually know nothing about this part. So I know a bit about shooting because I grew up on a farm, but I know nothing about what happens now, especially when it comes to deer.
Roll the stomach out, okay, so over the top and just...
Out that way or out this way?
Out this way, yeah.
Kind of stuck.
But it'll be connected with soft tissue. Okay, so this is your spleen here.
Right.
That's the spleen.
Okay.
So remember,
that's
I said
the bit we don't want to burst.
Well, we want to leave that in the animal. Okay, so we separate the spleen away from the gralloch.
How do you do that?
Just peel it away.
After a really long, really interesting, really cold day, we retreated back to our wigwam, and we spent the night there getting ready for the next day.
That's all the legs off. So what I can now do is I can now hang the beast up in the tree and take the head off. That's the this bit here is the tenderloin, and that's... So
the loin and the tenderloin different?
Yes,
right.
The tenderloin is on the inside of a rib cage.
Show me. I don't think I've ever cut that. No, I must have done, but I don't know what I've done.
Okay. Okay, that's one of them. Your fingers slow and steady.
Sadly, that's the end of the footage that I got of the butchering process. What you see on the table there is the end product ready to be packaged up for us to take home, which I did. And I gave some of it to very grateful recipients, my parents and my best friends. Just finished up. As you can see, everyone's butchered up and packaged away. It's all vacuum packed. Let's have a closer look. Right, vacuum packed and sealed away. That's just getting some photos for memories. This has been a wonderful host for us. Yeah. Thank you. And yeah, it's been an absolutely amazing weekend. Dave, brilliant. Can't say enough good things about it. Yeah. Well done, Dave.
Totally. Could I sniffles on that little big bowl here? You were recording that.
So we're all packed away. We've got everything back in the van. Pretty tired now. It's been a long weekend, and it like so absorbing. Like so much stuff to like. You realise what you don't know. Except that it probably is really only like most subjects the tip of the iceberg. But definitely feel more informed and I don't know, Viv, like what do you think? What would you feel like you got from it?
Like masses, not just how I would feel killing something.
That's probably like the smaller part of it in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it was, which surprised me because I thought it would be the biggest. Like I knew that last bit, the butchery, would take a long time, but I'm surprised that
it's
it really
quite a process, right? Yeah.
I've learned loads more about finesse. It's not just like cutting off huge chunks and like mincing bits, but it was like very finely going around different joints and different layers, different muscles. That was good.
Yeah, like I really knew nothing of butchery. I've never butchered anything in my life other than the odd YouTube video.
That was more than I expected, that bit.
Yeah. And Dave was excellent, like really very, very good. Very good with people, which was nice.
Empathic.
Yeah, very. So I would definitely say if you're in Scotland or the UK even, and you would like to participate in something like this, like don't go anywhere else. Just give Dave a shout. I'll put details. I'll get details. I'll put them in the comments down below. I was tired. It's been a long weekend. Long weekend, but a great weekend. So we've got another hour and a half to drive before we get home. So better hit the road.
Yep.
That's it there. The result of the forest to the fork. That's pretty good. That's more than pretty good. Oh, wow. Potatoes are from the garden as well. This might go down as the best meal I've ever had. Meat from the weekend. Hunted, shot, butchered, brought home all by myself. Potatoes grown from my own garden. Campfire on the beach and cooked over the fire. That's got to be pretty hard to beat. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.